So Marlene Maska joins us as our next MLC to talk to, and I had to get that right because it's congratulations. This is your new name because you got married.
I got married on the 23rd of December at Chatsworth House in Derbyshire. Okay. Just a small family wedding, but it was perfect and such a happy occasion. And so I've come back to take up the reins again with a new name.
Lovely. Now, we only talked, I think it was via Skype actually, ages ago, when you were thinking about standing, and so much has happened there. So let's just go back to the beginning. You get in, you hit the ground running. They always say that, everyone says that. But seriously, what was it like? What was it like to be there and be watching the whole thing and being part of it? It
was surreal, really. I think we were all surprised how quickly the vote went through. I think we were all expecting it to run on maybe for 2 or 3 votes, but it was all over in 10 minutes in the time you could make a cup of tea. And I know some friends had said, we'd gone to put the kettle on, and when we came back, it was over. But I think that really showed me that there was a business-like approach to this and quite refreshing. And I think it's a real move in the right direction.
Do you think they had a chance, though? Do you think that it was going to be girl power regardless? Do you think it's that sort of feel about it?
I don't think anybody had any idea because there were such good quality candidates. Mm-hmm. I don't think anybody expected to get in. And even, you know, you talk to all the members of the House of Keys who were voting, and most of them were quite straightforward and say, I've committed myself to a certain number of candidates, but others would say, the hustings is the day. And after the hustings, the feedback I got was, yes, I was in with a chance. And
how did you find that whole thing? It was quite interesting, wasn't it?
Well, it was, but I thought if I can withstand that and weather it, because I'm not the youngest spring chicken in there, and I thought I need to be sure in my own mind that I can cope with the level of reading and intellectual input and understanding that is needed for the job.
And have you?
And I think I have. And I think the hustings was a really good test. And after that I thought, well, if I can cope with that, I can look forward, if I get in, to representing my views and putting forward my own ideas and views as I feel are necessary, and I think I've succeeded in doing that so far.
Unelected, unrepresented, all that sort of thing is going to come up, you know.
Of course it is, yeah.
How do you view that?
Well, as I have said to the members at the hustings, they vote for you. We are their representatives to try and help members of the Keys and Tynwald as a family to take the right measures forward, and not necessarily going into a department, but I was invited to become a member of the Department of Education, Sport and Culture.
And you took that?
I did, because I felt it was a really good opportunity for me to help with the arts and culture Vannon, and also the education.
What are you specialising in? What's your particular
Well,
brief?
I'm Chairman of Arts Council, Vice Chairman of Culture Vannon, Chairman of the Building Conservation Forum, and then I'm now chairing the Environmental Policy Committee for the Harbour Strategy, because Mr Robert Collister had to recuse himself because he had a bit of a conflict, because he had a role to play in the Department for Enterprise and the tourism aspect in promoting the strategy.
Has it become a full-time job?
Absolutely, and more. I can honestly say, Paul, I've worked all my life. I've been a full-time architect, and then I was housing and property manager for a local authority for 10 years, which were both really full-on jobs. I'm working as hard, if not harder, than I've ever done, because it's not just the sitting at your desk and going to meetings, it's all the reading when you go home. And
are you ploughing through everything?
Well, I'm learning now. When you first go in, it's things like laid before, and do you need to read every single document at that time? You soon learn that you don't have to read every single page.
Pages seems to be the favourite, because it obviously lays it out.
But you have to read it to be able to debate and able to understand and have confidence in the way you think you should be voting. Yeah.
How's it gone for you then? I mean, you know, do you want to be putting things forward yourself? Do you see that happening? I mean, you know, where do you see it all going over the next 4 years left, isn't it?
Yes,
well,
amazing.
It's whizzing along,
this year has just flown.
Yeah.
There are now 1 or 2 matters which I know, but I'd rather, in a way, keep my powder dry, but that I'm going to be taking to the floor of Tynwald this year. Not controversial, but matters that I think really need looking at again, and I think I'm the right person to take those forward, and hopefully that will, it will encourage a good debate and a good level of input from members that haven't had an opportunity to debate this particular topic for quite some time.
Let's talk about the pay. This is a controversial thing for a lot of people. How do you view the pay structure, what you're getting, and the expenses, the whole thing?
Yeah,
how
okay. That's bound to be a question. And I know on the hustings I said I agreed that this matter probably needed looking at. At that time, I think you're a bit green in that you don't know what the role fully involves. And I've taken up the challenge, and as I said, I'm working more than full time. I think it's not so much for me, but we've got a really good, refreshing membership now that all bring different talents, different skills, and different energies. Now, at my stage in life, I'm retired, but to attract younger people who have this ability and a professional capability in these challenging times, you've got to be able to offer a salary that is competitive with the private sector or other professional roles. And the expenses, I know there was a debate about constituency matters. I've been able to come this afternoon. I couldn't come this morning because I was dealing with constituency matters in my own locale. But our island is
That's not your brief, though, is it?
No, it's not. But if people approach me, I'm not going to say go away. If there's something I can help with and it's within my knowledge and expertise, then obviously that's what I'm going to do.
How do you use these expenses, though? Do you see it as just part of your salary? Do you see it has to be spent? I mean, you don't have to give any reason whatsoever. You just get it, don't you?
For instance, I'm a lady, but and I had an extensive wardrobe anyway, but maybe not for this kind of a role. I know some colleagues have had to go out and get new wardrobes just to be able to cope with the level of interactive meetings that you represent the government. So you can't go in a tracksuit. So there's that, but it's things like travelling. I go, because I'm on Arts Council, I get invited to give prizes out at schools, attend concerts on an island-wide basis, and I try and do as much as I can. So it does help with that kind of thing, but it's as you'll know, it's under scrutiny at the moment.
Are you for or against it, though, in the future? Do you see it as part of your wages and to separate
I think there are ways of dealing with it. I think it should be taxed. It maybe shouldn't be at the level that it is. And I actually think that there might be room for someone sitting outside of Parliament to look at this level of salary.
And should MHKs be higher on a better salary, different salary scales?
I'm sure some of them feel they should be.
What do you think?
The way I'm working now, I'm earning my money.
Right.
I am, absolutely.
Well, okay, so now you're in, you've done your year.
Yeah.
How's it all feeling now? I mean, you've got your feet under the table well and truly, so you're relaxed, you feel you're part of the institution, the government.
I think it works both ways. I think some members didn't know me at all, and they voted for me and they took a risk on that, but on the basis of what they saw. I'm hoping that because of my record to date, I don't speak for the sake of speaking, if you understand me, although I can speak, I know. But I wait and see what the debate, which direction it's going in, and if there's something that's not been said and I feel it needs to be said, then I will speak, and I think I'm gathering respect for that approach. I'm on the select committees I've sat on. I was on the brownfield sites, as I'd call it. That worked well, and our recommendations were taken up all but one, and there's a new energy gone into looking at brownfield sites or previously developed sites. So I really enjoyed that and felt I gave a lot to that, and it's kind of going forward now and being looked at. Even in the Eastern Area Plan, there it's kind of playing a little part in that kind of scenario.
So the future is you see a position for MLCs in Tynwald. You don't see you being dissolved or got rid of or elected or anything like that. You're happy as it is?
Well, I think so, because I think we are valued. That's the feedback I'm getting, and I can see my colleagues, especially the new members, are working as hard as I am. all in different and various roles, and bring a wealth of talents. And I think with the challenging times that are coming, there are some, there's some really big issues that we've got to deal with. The elephant in the room, of course, is Brexit, but we've got lots of difficult issues and challenges coming in our direction. And I think the richer the mix that we can bring to these discussions and debates, I think there's a higher likelihood of a better outcome and a balanced outcome for the future of the island that we love.